Volunteering in the Valley promotes volunteering and volunteers in our area. Tell us about your organization's volunteer needs and we will share them with others looking to make a difference. Tell us about your personal volunteer experiences and inspire others. We'd love to hear from you. Email volunteeringinthevalley@cvalley.net or call Jean at 660-385-5233. This is a joint venture between CVTV and AARP.
Today, Volunteering in the Valley wants to take you back to reminisce a little. How many of you around this area can remember when the thing to do on Friday night and or Saturday night was to go cruise the square? Well, we want to take you back to that. Are you ready for this? We are going to talk today about an event which is going to be a fundraiser and an organizational event for a new foundation. And it's going to be called, are you ready? Don't ask me to spell it, Cruiz-a-Palooza. And we have Denny Henke here, who's going to tell us about Cruiz-a-Palooza, when, where, why. You're booking it and billing it as the first annual and maybe only.
And maybe only.
Denny, tell us.
Well, it started out, my wife and I came through Salisbury about 10:30 on a Saturday night, and it was completely abandoned. And you know, back in my day, you went uptown, and that's where you found out what was going on and who was going to do it. Well, you know, now you've got the text messaging and and all that. So all that's went by the wayside because, like with my kids, they knew what they were going to do before they left the house. Well, we had to go uptown. So I told her, I said, it'd be nice if a bunch of us old geezers would go up there and kind of do this, for old time's sake. So I mentioned it to several of my classmates that we have a Facebook page or group, and they thought that was great. And we're like, Salisbury's a small town, so a lot of the classes we knew people that were older and younger than us. So we kind of opened it up. I just put it on Facebook, and it went, I wouldn't say viral, but it started getting a lot of attention. And so we said, well, we'll have something at the city park. So we booked the shelter house. Well, word got out enough that the park board called me, and they're like, would you want to meet with us? Because we think you're going to need more than just a shelter house. So I named it the Cruiz-a-Palooza, and my family has always played music and stuff, my dad, my brother, and I. And so my brother came up, he said, well, the only way I'm going to call it the Cruiz-a-Palooza is if you call the band the Cruiz-a-Paloozers. So it's going to be him and me and a buddy of mine that runs Professional Sounds, going to take care of that. And I've got musicians coming in from all over, and we're going to see what we can do. So, and there's just going to be refreshments, hamburgers, hot dogs, beer garden, and just a free will donation for the foundation, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, Melanie, introduce yourself and tell us what the foundation is and why we're doing it.
Well, I'm Melanie Latimer. I'm from Salisbury. The foundation is an organization that Denny and I started. We've recruited some help. In March of 2014, my husband was diagnosed with breast cancer, and by September of that year, he was diagnosed as metastatic. It had started spreading in his body, and right after that, the people that he worked with at JF Rowling in Salisbury and a lot of our friends, Denny and Brenda included, all got together and held a fundraiser for us to help pay for medical expenses. A lot of people don't realize when someone's diagnosed, the expenses goes a lot farther than your doctor bill and your hospital bill. And something Larry had mentioned from that fundraiser on is it was a pretty big fundraiser. Awful lot of people there, covered a lot more than just Salisbury because he was very well known. And he always said he wanted to give back somehow, and he wished there was a way to help people like we were helped. So when we found out this past fall that my husband was not going to win his battle with cancer, Larry and I kind of talked about it and kicked this idea around. And after he passed away, as we were saying our goodbyes, Denny and I kind of got together, and I said, this is what Larry wants. Will you help me? And he jumped on board immediately. I'm not sure now he realized what he was jumping on board for.
I did, and I did it anyway.
Yeah, that's hey, there you go. So anyway, we're still in the legal process of getting everything done for this foundation. We are recognized in the state of Missouri as a not-for-profit. And our intentions are to get federal status so that donations will be tax deductible. Our goal, we have a board of directors set up, which is Denny and I, Pam Lockard from Salisbury, and my 2 children, Joni and Jake Latimer, or Joni Drummond and Jake Latimer, sorry, Joni. We're the board of directors. We will handle the legal and financial end of it. We also have an advisory board, which is 8 people from Sheraton County. We have 2 from each city. Salisbury, Keatsville, Brunswick, and Minden. Our advisory board members they're gearing up. They're helping with the fundraisers and helping us get started, but they're kind of going to be the ambassadors for the foundation. They'll reach out to people who are diagnosed, that sort of thing. Our goal here is to help. Our initial goal is going to be to help with travel expenses. The closest place to anyone in Sheraton County can get treatments is Columbia or Marshall. People are going farther than that. We were in St. Louis for a while. People go to Houston, MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. And those travel expenses mount up quickly. So initially that is our goal, is to help people cover those travel expenses while receiving treatments.
Right. And I know from personal experience that those daily trips are wearing enough on the patient and the family without having to worry about where the funding is coming from.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you've got a really good start. It sounds as if you've got some community people who are really interested in helping, family and friends and neighbors and coworkers. And that's important because you've got a core, and that core sounds as if they're ready to step up and go. If I show up at the Cruiz-a-Palooza, what can I expect?
Well, we really don't know.
We're not sure what to expect at this point.
There's been several people talking about maybe bringing in vintage cars. I would just like to cruise Maine once in an automatic, because I always had a stick shift, and a clutch just kills you. And my 49-year-old knee really wouldn't take it now. But so we don't know. So they'll cruise from like 6 to 8, and then we'll have some vendors uptown selling just various things. But the main thing will be at the park with the food vendors and the beer garden, and then at 8:30 the band will start, and that should run about 8:30 to 12. So
one of the things we've got it set up with the vendors uptown. We're going to try to have it set up that the ones that have something that can be sold as a drive-through. There's ice cream, there's cupcakes, that sort of thing. We're going to have it set up so you don't even have to get out of your car. You can drive through, purchase it. You know, if you have kids in the car, you don't have to get them out of the car seats, that sort of thing. You can purchase something as you drive by and just keep right on cruising. So, yeah, like you said, we're not real sure what to expect, because we don't have anybody that's done this to give us any guidance. So the thing is, the response for it was, it caught me off guard, and so a lot of people came in to help. Like, say, the park board, the Chamber of Commerce of Salisbury has been a huge help in supporting and help sponsor this. The city of Salisbury,
they've been really good,
very helpful.
And like I say, I've appreciate a lot of my friends coming in from out of town to play, and I think it's going to be a really good time. It's going to be laid back. It's going to be social. You know, we're just going to kick back and see what happens.
We know there's at least one class reunion in town that day that's going to move the reunion out to the park so that they can visit. And
we've missed the most important thing. When?
June 17th. June 17th.
And this is a Saturday?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the earliest I can show up and expect something to happen?
Well, probably, I'd say some people will get there early, but the main cruising starts at 6.
Okay.
But,
and the vendors are planning on starting at 6.
And this sounds pretty good, because back in the day, first you cruised, and then if you wanted to eat, you had to go to the drive-in.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So instead of driving in, you drive out to the park. So
Sounds terrific. And can you tell me a little bit about anything you might still need in the way of additional volunteers? Do you have spots for folks to help you out if somebody in your area is seeing this and is hearing about this, and maybe they've already heard about it, but maybe they don't realize that there's still a need for maybe a few people to lend a hand here and there with setting up, cleaning up. Cleaning up after is always one of the
That's
biggest
the fun
problems
part.
with these things. So go and take part, and when you're done, instead of cruising out of the square, grab a trash bag or a trash can, check in with these folks and say, is there a way that I can help get this finished in grand style?
that would
But
be
in
awesome.
In the meantime, I think everybody's probably looking forward to a great evening. Do you have any rain plans?
Not at this moment. So, but I don't know. We are
Okay.
we are working on maybe coming up with a backup venue for the band. So,
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely going to have, you know, we want to pull it off one way or the other. I guess if it rains and we don't have a place to go, we'll just dance in the rain and make the best of it. I don't know what to say.
but yeah, we like to say we are working on an indoor. So updates will be coming. So
Maybe somebody has one of those little outdoor canvas tent type things that's a roof and 4 posts, and you can the band can all squeeze.
We got a lot of farmers in the group. I'm sure we can come up with tarp straps and zip ties and make something up. I don't know, but
Those blue plastic
oh,
tarps
they work wonders.
do everything, don't they? Well, it's been really great to talk about this, and you know, we all suffer losses in our lives, and cancer is something that touches all of us, family, friends, neighbors, loved ones in some form or another. But when we can take our grief and turn it into something that makes life better for others in our community and in our circle, then we've accomplished something. You know, when Memorial Day came along recently, I got to thinking about, we take Memorial Day and we spend that time thanking all those who have served. And those who serve in our military have answered a calling that most of us will never be asked to do. But on the other hand, I look around me and I see my friends and my neighbors and folks I don't know out there volunteering. They're helping in the community. They don't get paid for it. A lot of times they're spending some money out of their own pocket to get back and forth, or to buy supplies, or to do things that just are necessary to be done, and there's not budget to do them. So next time you see somebody volunteering in an activity, take a minute to thank them for their service, because this amounts to billions of dollars worth of help in this country every year. And sometimes we don't really stop and think about where we would be about the volunteers in this world, you know, in our little spot. And we hear about places around the world where people are starving, where there are diseases that they don't have medicines available because they can't ship them in. We are so fortunate that we aren't in that situation, but we've still got plenty that we can do in our community for those who have a special need, or there is something to be met. And you know, it isn't age, it isn't what happens physically that makes us old, I think. I think what makes us old is when we no longer have anything that we look forward to. So maybe it's something as simple as saying, I'm going to go down to the Child Community Development Center and read to the kids next week. And I know there's one little girl that always just smiles at me when I come in to read. Or maybe I'll go help stock shelves at the food pantry. Maybe I'll be there on the monthly distribution day and help those folks as they come through to get their supplies. There's always something. Here we've offered you one more thing down in Salisbury. It's a community that we haven't had an opportunity to feature on volunteering in the Valley before. So now we're going to challenge the rest of you towns around that watch volunteering in the Valley, that get these broadcasts. Get us your information. We want to put them on here too. We want to include all the communities in the Sheraton Valley viewing area that have volunteer projects that need help. So keep us in mind, and when you hear somebody asking for help, go out and have fun and happy volunteering. Thanks again.
Volunteering in the Valley promotes volunteering and volunteers in our area. Tell us about your organization's volunteer needs and we will share them with others looking to make a difference. Tell us about your personal volunteer experiences and inspire others. We'd love to hear from you. Email volunteeringinthevalley@cvalley.net or call Jean at 660-385-5233. This is a joint venture between CVTV and AARP.